What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. Got a brand new series review for y'all. So I just finished binge watching the hell out of 2 Weeks to Live, starring Maisie Williams, Sian Clifford, and Mawaan Rizwan. First of all, about some years back, I'm not exactly sure how many years, but it was some years back, trust me. Me and a friend had a good debate about which side was better actors, British or the American. I am team British all day, baby. That's because, I say that because I feel, and I felt, and I still feel, that British actors take the craft serious, okay? They don't play any games. When you give them a role, they play the damn role. There is no, I'm just playing Benjamin Franklin. I can say dude a couple of times, right? No, you can't say dude when you're playing Benjamin Franklin, all right? And that's how I felt a lot of the actors in America treat their roles sometimes. Like, they just felt like, oh, well, I'll get another role eventually, because of my name. So this role I don't really care about. They just don't care sometimes. Another thing that does it for me with British actors, the interview. The interview, man. It's just me. Maybe it's just me, but sometimes I don't know that they're British until they get interviewed. All right? Like, it's a mind blower for me still. And I should be more mature about this. I should know better. It's what you call acting. It's called acting, right? But it still gets me when they turn that camera on and they start the interview and they're like, hey, and by the way, I'm from Britain. Because at that point, I'm like, who is this? Who is this person? I did not know this was the same person that did this movie. And this was a really big thing for me with Daniel Kaluuya. That really took me by this surprise. Okay? A couple other actors too. Trust me. But yeah, that always gets me. That always gets me, man. I don't care what it is. What doesn't help my cause, though, the cast of Game of Thrones. Let me explain. Yes, Game of Thrones is a great show, incredible, outstanding, knockout. The actors on there did a great job as well with that show. Outside of Game of Thrones, their track records are horrible. Just most of the track records are horrible. They're not helping Team British with their track records outside of Game of Thrones. And you'll see a lot of my examples at the bottom of the screen right now of just hurting them. Now there are exceptions to the rules because Kit Harington, a long time ago, had a mockumentary on HBO called 7 Days in Hell. And he was hilarious in that. I didn't know Kit Harington could be funny. So I really enjoyed that. Also, Charles Dance and Aliens 3 or Lena Headey and 300. Those are the exceptions. But most of all, they just don't have a good track record. Now, set our focuses on Maisie Williams. She already didn't have a good start into the movie world as far as I'm concerned. When I saw one of her first trailers for a movie called Book of Love, it was horrid. She was trying to be funny. She's not funny. By the way, she's not funny if you didn't know. And it didn't work for me. And I always kept that image in my head whenever it came to anything she's done outside of Game of Thrones. So, with this show, will she be able to make up for all that or not? We shall see in the review. Let's get to it. Now, 2 weeks to live. For those who are not aware, those who don't know, and yeah, you probably don't, because this was not really brought up a lot or at all in any kind of social media whatsoever. But 2 weeks to live is about a girl named Kim who's been kept in the wild, away from civilization, for about 15 years with her mother. And, she's out there learning how to survive amongst the creatures and the animals. One day, she's had enough. She's had enough. She's like, F this. I got to get out of here. I want to live my own life. Let me roll out of here and do my own thing. So she steals the Jeep, gets all her belongings, and she rolls out to civilization. Now, along her little adventure, she bumps into Nikki and Jay. She starts taking a liking to Nikki. And for some reason, the older brother, which is Jay, well, he's a bit of a D-head. Let's just put it like this. He's a bit of a D-head, okay? So Jay thinks it's funny because he knows that she really believes in the end of the world, in the apocalypse, right? Because of her mother. So Jay thinks it's a great idea to play a prank on her and make her believe that the end of the world is indeed coming right now. What they did not expect is for her to take it to the extreme and get up, roll out, and go find her killer and exact her revenge. And this is where the show takes off. Now, positives. This show has a level of dark humor that is just phenomenal. I loved it. It was almost perfect. The timing of the jokes, everything just worked out like it should with the jokes. And I'll give you an example. There was a part in the show where she's fighting an assassin. She gets the best of him. He's now laying on the bed, beaten, bloody. So she turns her back to talk to Nikki outside or something, right? The assassin sees this as his moment to get a blade and throw it at her back. It just goes through her, it's in her back, right? She barely even feels that. Turns around. It's like, hey man, what's the big deal? All right. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hit you in the back. I was trying to kill you. It's just the way that he said it with that British politeness. Like he was doing her a favor. It just cracked me up. And there are a lot of other jokes like this as well within the show. All right, that I enjoyed. It just had me laughing. So it did a great job with the dark humor. Now, another thing that it did well was the action scenes that it had. Okay, the action scenes it had were very well thought out. I say that because when I see Maisie Williams do an action scene, it takes me back to Arya from Game of Thrones. It reminds me of her character, like a modern version of Arya, which really worked for me. It really worked for me within this show. And yes, she can do other roles besides action. She can get away from that role if she wanted to. But this is just something that's familiar for me, or probably for any Arya fan or any Game of Thrones fan that watches this show. You're going to love the modern version of Arya. Trust me, when she gets into it. With that said, though, this is what's going to lead me into the negatives, man. Because, yes, it had some good action scenes in there, but at the same time, there was a lack of action. There was a lack of action because for about 2 episodes, I want to say episode 4 and 5, nothing really happened, man. Nothing really happened. It was like a filler in an anime. A bunch of talk and dialogue that really meant nothing to the main plot. A little bit was, connecting, but it really meant nothing more than that. So I needed the action to continue. I needed to keep my attention on the screen, but it lost me. It really lost me there. And that kind of hurt. That hurt some of those points, man. It really did. Another thing, like I was saying, for the 2 episodes, there was no action. And you know why that really hurt? Because this only had 6 episodes, man. Only 6 episodes. So, yeah, okay, you can say it's a mini-series. But if it's a mini-series, the way that it ended lets you know there's going to be another season. So this is going to be more than a mini-series, right? There should have been at least 8 episodes. At least 8. The ideal episode is 10, I'd say. But at least give me 8 episodes, man. So I can get more action scenes. Because that's really was the strong point of the show, along with the humor. That was the strong points. But they really dropped the ball with that. I hate to say this could have been a great idea. This could have been a great idea. And so because of that, I've got to give it the eye. Yes, the eye. The dreaded eye. I really wanted to give it an eye, cool, but that really hurt. Trust me, it really hurt. Also, another negative I forgot, there were no characters that really stood out. There was no favorite character for me. Other than, I guess, Arya. But you know how some shows, besides the lead character, there's always that other character in the show that makes you come back for more. Or you just can't wait till that character pops up. They did not have that. They didn't actually have a character that I hated. Surprisingly, there was no hateful characters. But there were no characters that were like your imp from Game of Thrones. There was no characters like that. All right, so that put a hurt into it too. And so I had to give it the eye. Hopefully next season there will be more action. The humor is they're doing a great job with the humor already. No need to change that. But the action has to be pumped up. They gotta pump up the action with this. Don't drop the ball anymore. If you do, I'm going to give up on this show. Okay? I really am. I want more from Maisie Williams. Seriously. Alright. Still check out the show. See what you think. Alright, if you ever get a chance. But be warned. Be warned. You will be lost for 2 episodes. I want you to press that like button, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I'm out.